Are you in shape? Shane asked with a grin as they ate their breakfast on the airplane the next morning. Quinlan swallowed her last bite of fruit and smirked at him. You know I am. Why are you asking? Because we've been sitting for so long. My legs just cursed me in 5 languages. You in shape enough to run with me? She shot him a challenging grin. I would be very surprised if you could outrun me, Murphy. Is that a challenge? It's a bet, actually. When we get to New York, if you can manage it, I bet I can beat you in a 100-meter dash after we run my usual 12-mile route through Central Park. He held out his hand. Here on, little girl. She gave his hand a firm shake. I may be younger than you, but that hardly makes me a little girl. I'd be surprised if your elderly knees will be able to handle the strain of the run. Shane laughed. Don't you have to foil your nails or something like that? She looked at the squared white tips of her nails, pretending to examine her cuticles. You are right. Why don't I knit or something while you go out and kill a bear? Shane chuckled and shook his head. I don't like bear meat. Too tough and greasy. I'd rather kill a turkey. She chuckled. That's just so utterly unmanly, Murphy. Fine by me, he said, turning back to his book. Hold on. Don't you need your reading glasses? She teased, giving him a snide smile when he looked back at her. He laughed, scratching the side of his face with his middle finger. When he had turned back to his book, Quinlan looked at her own, feeling utterly apathetic at the thought of reading. She sighed and looked around the plane, seeing other tired faces, some still snoozing. It seemed an eternity since she had last been on the ground, an eternity of doubt and worry eating away at her. She gazed around, wanting nothing more than to be free of the confines. It's amazing, isn't it? A woman's voice asked just in front of her. Quinlan looked up and smiled when she saw the woman's bold blue eyes fixed on hers, her curly brown hair pulled back from a heart-shaped face. What part? She asked in a friendly fashion. The woman gazed out the window, a faraway look on her face. The view of the clouds below, the sun completely uncovered, the sky, that gorgeous pale blue. I love it up here. Quinlan peered at the view, seeing it through the woman's eyes as entranced as she was. I spend enough time in airplanes that the novelty is completely worn off for me. I'm jaded. She folded her hands on the back of her seat and leaned her chin on her hands. That is funny. I'm BG and you're jaded. What a pair we are. Quinlan chuckled. Cool name. I've never heard it used as a name before. BG crinkled her nose. My parents have this weird fascination with old rock bands. My brothers' names are Santana and Journey. She grinned, shrugging slightly. I should probably be grateful they didn't name me Sex Pistols or Black Sabbath. Quinlan's laugh bubbled out. I was just thinking that, but BG is a very cool name. She leaned a little further forward. You know what's funny? People with unusual names think mine is dorky, but people with normal names like mine. I'm going to guess your name is something like Nikki. Am I right? Not even close. You're going to have to rethink your theory. My name is Quinlan. BG let out a dramatic groan. You're making that up. Nope, sorry, and I still think your name is cool. She laughed, holding out her hand between them. I learned something cool while I was in France. Let me see your hand, I'll show you, she said, a feeling of eagerness coming from her. Quinlan raised her brows, but laid her hand on BG's. Instantly, horror shot through her. She watched as important images passed through her mind, all of them giving a picture of who BG was, an FBI agent, on a team who hunted a terrorist group. She was the youngest agent and hadn't found her place on her team yet. They looked down on her because of her cheerful outlook. She was lonely, though dedicated to her mission. Quinlan's mouth went dry when she saw that the terrorist group BG's team was hunting was planning an attack on New York City. The FBI knew something was being planned, though hadn't been able to pinpoint the location, but Quinlan saw. Okay, this is your lifeline, BG said, pointing out a line on Quinlan's palm, then looked harder at it. This won't work. Yours is like, I don't know, it's not normal. It's way long. Are you a vampire or something? She asked with a friendly chuckle. Quinlan turned her hand over, gripping BG's very hard. There's going to be an attack at Madison Square Gardens at the concert on Saturday night. They work for the security firm the band uses. Each of them will have a component of the explosive they're planning to use. Multiple explosives throughout. What are you talking about? Who are you?